Hello and welcome to this showcase video featuring IVT, the Interactive Voronoi Tree Map. IVT is an application to visualize large hierarchical data structures and do so while not overwhelming the user and still filtering out the important information from the data. To actually show off the application, what you first need, of course, is data. So with IVT you have two options. You can either choose your own file or load a set of example files just to show off the application. The data can be structured in either of two ways. If we were to look in on this other side here, for example, you can have a CSV file in which all the data sits. So there's a row for each data entry, and it's always the parent, as you can see, a name, parent, and possibly a weight if you care to weight your data set. So this is one way, and the other way is a JSON file. In which the standard JSON format is used. You have name and children as tags that are necessary. And you can also add a weight, for example, as also in the CSV. Each node can have a weight, which is then also used in the visualization. Okay, so much for the examples. Going back to the application. For today, we'll just go through our examples that we have already in the application. So let's start off with a small example. Here are all the continents of the world, more or less. This should be Oceania. Anyways, these are at least areas of the world. And if I care to click on any of these Voronoi cells, like Asia, you can see it'll open up the cell and show off what else is in there. And as you can see, all these regions also have different sizes. This is because our data set is actually weighted. This is already the last, this is a very small data set. This is already the leaves of the hierarchy. And so what this shows off is actually the GDP of the countries. So if we go to North America, here you can see United States by far outweighs Mexico and Canada. And this is because in the data set, it actually tells you what it is in percentage. And so the application then builds the Voronoi regions according to this weight. Let's move on to the medium example. Here, this time we can see some countries. This is actually a car manufacturer data set. So in the first level, they're divided up by nationality, of course. So if we go to Germany, we can see, oh, okay, there are 4 car brands here. We can click back out. We can check out Italy. Here we have 5 car brands. And once again, you can see there's another level below that. So if we were to click on Fiat, we then see they offer 4 types of cars in this case. Or we go to Alfa Romeo, 3 types of cars. So in this case, the size of the Voronoi regions does not depend on some weight, because these data points are not weighted. There wouldn't really be any obvious point at least, to weight the models. So what our application does is it actually sizes the diagrams according to the amount of children. So the more children a region has, the larger it gets. As you can see here. Yeah. So now let's move on to the most interesting example, our large example. This takes a little bit to load, but this is actually a dataset provided by Google. It's their product taxonomy, which means this is the way that Google decides on dividing up products in any way, in any marketplace or anything like that. As you can see, if you're still not sure what that means, think of it like when you go shopping on some online site and you're looking for something, you can usually always sort by categories. This is pretty much what this is. So if we go into sporting goods, you can see it'll open up. We have 4 categories within sporting goods. We might want to do outdoor recreation, go into here. You might want to go cycling. You might need some bicycle parts, and there you go. And then you might need some wheel parts. And then you can have bicycle wheel rims. As you can see, this is already like, I think 5 layers deep or something like that. And shows off all the information nonetheless. And this is always to size. So once again here, there are no weights because these are just products. There shouldn't really be any weights. So what the application does, it does it according to children. So as we can see, the largest categories in this data set is sporting goods and home garden, because most of the products are in these categories. The smaller ones, on the other hand, like software and luggage and bags, are much smaller because they don't have that many products. They're very, very, yeah, they're smaller categories. So that's what the size depends on. As this is a very large data set, I can also show off the final feature that I want to present. So if you were to go into a large data set like this, you're into levels, bubble levels, so you're somewhere in your giant data set, you're not sure anymore where you are, you always have the option to reset the viewpoint, and it'll set you right back at the start with all your categories, etc. So you never need to go through the hassle to like go into here, click, 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 and then click out, out, out. Yeah. So this concludes this showcase video for IVT. It's short and to the point, but I think I gave you a good overview on what the application can do and showed off all the features. If this interests you and if you thought this is a good application, stay tuned because I'm sure there will be more features implemented in the future. And I hope you have a very nice day. See you next time.